Right, the day after the night before, with the night before being a drab 0-0 draw against Bristol City. There wasn't a great deal to chat about from the on-pitch action. Me and David did that last night on the live reaction. Go and check that out. But rather than chatting about the game, we're just going to cover a lot of what's happening at Celtic at the moment, where certain players stand, where the manager stands, where the club in general stands with regards to getting players in. And we're going to do it through the words of a wonderful man. That man is Ange Postecoglou. That may or may not be a huge shock to you. Basically what we're going to do is we're going to look at what he has had to say after the game last night, delve into comments. He touched on so many different issues, and we're going to try and read into what the manager is thinking at the moment and what it tells us about where we stand about all the issues that I've just mentioned. You will get updates on the likes of Christopher Ayer, Lee Griffiths, yes really, Odsonne Edouard, Vasilis Barkas, numerous other people as well. Let's just get right into it. And the first thing we're going to touch on is the big one. Players coming in. When are Celtic going to sign more players? We signed Lil Abadda yesterday, the Israeli winger. When are we next going to sign a player? Well, Postecoglou reckons that the next week will be interesting. I feel like I've heard that before, but you know, it's interesting nonetheless. He says, we're working hard on others. The idea is to get them in as soon as we can, but the world is a complicated place at the moment. It's not as easy as putting people on planes and they're here in a day. We're working through it. I'm confident we will have more in the building in the next week or so. Right, the latest reports, and there's nothing really new or startling here. Swedish outlet Expressen, where we had Anna Lavdic on last week, they're saying that Karel Starfelt has a medical booked in Moscow after a £4.2 million fee was agreed between Celtic and Rubin Kazan. So see that wee list you've got in front of you with centre-back, you can probably get ready to tick that off. Maybe you can do it in pencil. Right back as well, possibly. The Herald say we've bid £1 million for Rennes right back Sasha Boy. Now, right back, centre back, and of course winger, where we've signed Abadda. Those were the three positions that Postecoglou spoke about a week, 10 days ago as being the priority. So I suppose in that regard, we are getting somewhere. We're filling the areas that are most in need of refurbishment. The problem that Postecoglou and all of us have is that the job isn't done if these players come in. There are so many other positions that Celtic need reinforcements for the season to come. We need new options. We need backup options in some positions. Most of them, we need first team options. It's actually easier to say the positions that we're all right in. Attacking mid, we're probably all right. That's probably it. Centre back, you know, we need to bring in, I think, another one on top of Starfelt. When you consider that Julian's still injured and we've lost Shane Duffy from last season. We need another right back as well, I would argue. A left back, unless Bolly Goalie turns into Roberto Carlos overnight. A centre mid, you only have to see the injury to Soro and realise how light we are in that area of the pitch. We need a left winger as well. We're really short in that area. We don't really have any left wingers now that Mikey Johnson is apparently injured. More on that in a minute. And something that's not been spoken about too much, a striker as well. Probably two if Odsonne Edouard leaves. That's another key area of the pitch. I think that's at least 7 or 8 players we're talking about there. So, and that's on top of, you know, Starfelt, Abadda, Boy, if they come in. It's on top of Osazi Origide and Liam Shaw as well. This is 7 additional players we need. A lot of work still to do. Thankfully, it seems as if Celtic are finally getting things into gear a little bit. Whether it's too late or not, we'll need to wait and see. Now, just talking about Lil Abadda, that deal was confirmed on Wednesday evening by Celtic. A reported £3.5 million was paid to sign him. Postecoglou spoke about Abadda. He says, I've been keen to add to our attacking options, and he is one who has the attributes we are looking for when it comes to the type of football we want to play. He's quick and exciting, and he scores goals. He will be up at Lennoxtown by Friday, and we'll see what kind of condition he's in. I'm assuming he can hit the ground running. Now, Postecoglou mentions the goals there, and that is the first thing that springs out to me when I'm looking into Abadda. He scored 12 in the league last season, 8 the previous season. This is a winger playing for not one of the biggest teams in Israel, not by a long shot. Yes, they finished 4th in the league last year, but traditionally they're not a team that you would expect to be up the top end of the table. If this guy's scoring, 20 goals over the last couple of seasons in the league, then surely he can be the kind of player who can hit 15 to 20 goals per season for Celtic in all competitions. If he develops further, he's still only 19, and if he's playing in a team that will dominate the vast majority of games, certainly domestically, I've got a good feeling about this guy. Yeah, I've watched YouTube compilations. We know how they can be cut up to suit a player to make him look good. But he has scored a lot of very good goals, a lot of smashing finishes, a lot of chips, even a header in there as well. It seems like he can score a lot of goals, and I feel like we're going to badly need to replace the goals of Mohamed Elyounoussi. Yes, Elyounoussi didn't always do it, didn't often do it in huge games, but he did score a lot of goals against weaker opposition in the league, and those are goals we're going to have to fill. Hopefully Abadda can do that. He's wearing Scott Sinclair's number 11 shirt, so hopefully he can have the same sort of impact, starting at Tynecastle, just like Sinclair did. Now, Postecoglou will manage Celtic at Celtic Park for the first time this Saturday when the aforementioned Scott Sinclair's Preston North End visit the East End of Glasgow, and our manager has been speaking about the prospect of venturing onto the Celtic Park turf on a match day for the first time. Postecoglou says, I'm obviously excited about it, but I think the whole group is. Obviously it will be my first experience, albeit with 2,000 there, but I'm sure they'll make a lot more noise than just 2,000. But to be honest, I think the whole playing group and all the staff are looking forward to being back at Celtic Park, and more importantly, having some supporters in there. Now, he was chatting to Celtic TV there, I should point that out. I'm just looking forward to seeing Celtic back at Celtic Park. The first 3 pre-season games have been fine. It's been nice to have Celtic back, but I don't think any of them have been helped by being played in training grounds. Looking forward to seeing Celtic with Celtic fans in attendance for the first time in God knows how long. It's going to be pretty special, even if there's only 2,000 there. Hopefully there's far more for the meaningful game against Midtjylland, but one step at a time. Saturday, looking forward to it. Postecoglou also did his best to clear up a range of lingering issues that are currently in place at Celtic. I'll do my best to go through these as quickly as possible. Now, injuries, he says that Vasilis Barkas dislocated his finger in the warm-up. That guy just can't catch a break at all. He can't actually catch much, come to think of it. But hopefully he's back as soon as possible. Mikey Johnson and Karamoko Dembele are 2 wingers who both came off in the first half of the game against Bristol City. Postecoglou says they'll need to wait 24 hours to see what the script is there. He says that Tom Rogic trained on Tuesday and looked good. He says that Odsonne Edouard was injured, and he says that Christopher Ajer still has some issues. Now, it does seem clear now that Christopher Ajer will be leaving Celtic, Brentford City, close to his signing, for a fee believed to be around $13.5 million. So I suppose those are some issues. Lee Griffiths as well. Ange says that he hasn't given the Griffiths situation any thought at all, or even spoken to Griffiths yet. I think that kind of covers where we're at with Celtic at the moment. There's still so much work needing done. Hopefully we can bring in a centre-back, namely Starfelt, and a right-back, namely Boy, before the final deadline for the game against Midtjylland. Yes, those guys and Abadda may not be ready to start that home leg against Midtjylland, but even having those players available for the second leg in Denmark could be seen as a big boost. We've got lots more content coming on 67 Hail Hail. both the website and the YouTube here. Remember to stay tuned to both. Remember to subscribe to the channel as we aim to hit 16,000 by the end of the week. Thanks everyone, take care, and we'll speak to you soon.